Let us continue dative bonding. In dative bonding, we will take I3 minus. I3 minus will take how to get I3 minus in the sense I2 iodine molecule combines with I minus to give I3 minus. To give I3 minus, we can say iodine molecule combines with I minus to give I3 minus. This we can say iodine molecule, we can say this I2, we can say iodine molecule. I minus we have to say iodide ion. I minus we have to say iodide ion, we have to say. Sir. Now we will see iodine molecule, we will see that iodine molecule will take iodine molecule we have taken. Sorry. In this iodine molecule, iodine atom we will see iodine atom electronic configuration we will see iodine atom electronic configuration. For that iodine comes under which group we will see iodine comes under 7th A group, that is halogen family. In the halogen family, what are the elements are there means chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Astatine is there. Chlorine is there. Chlorine is helium 2s2 2p3, helium 2s2 2p5. Chlorine is neon 3s2 3s2 3p5. Bromine is argon 3d10 4s2 4p5. So now see, before bromine, that bromine comes under which period means in that period first 3d series is there, transition elements, d block elements are there, therefore 3d10 we have to write. Iodine we have to write krypton 4d10 5s2 5p5 5p5 5d0. Okay, 5d0. Therefore in this iodine, the valence shell is having how many electrons in the sense 7 electrons. In the valence shell of iodine 7 electrons present, therefore 7 dots we will write. We are writing 7 dots. We are writing 7 dots for the iodine. Iodine we are writing 7 dots. Okay. Now we will give bonding. This valence shell is having 7 electrons, so it is in need of 1 electron to get octet. Therefore it makes 1 bond. So both between both iodine atoms, 1 bond is there. Therefore each has got octet configuration. Then it is iodine molecule. Iodine molecule is this one. Now I minus we will take. I minus in the sense this valence shell is having 8 electrons. This valence shell is having 8 electrons, we can say. Why 8 electrons means because of minus 1 charge. Because of minus 1 charge, this valence shell is having 8 electrons. Like that we can say. So next, this iodine is having vacant orbital here. This iodine is having vacant orbital. This iodine is having vacant orbital. Therefore, this iodine is having vacant orbital, we can say. Due to vacant orbital, what happens means this I minus is contributing lone pair to this iodine. Okay. Now see that iodine atom in iodine molecule contribute vacant orbital, while I minus contribute lone pair. I minus contribute lone pair. Okay, I minus is contributing lone pair. Iodine atom in iodine molecule contributing vacant orbital. What vacant orbital? That we have to write. Okay, which vacant orbital? That name we have to write. That means no doubt hybrid orbital only. That hybrid orbital how to find in the sense after writing the molecular formation we will write. Sir, now we will see this I2 will write this I is having 3 lone pairs. That 3 lone pairs will write here. Then this I is having 3 lone pairs. That 3 lone pairs will write here. That 3 lone pairs. This I minus will write. That I minus. This I minus is having 3 lone pairs. 1, 2, 3. 3 lone pairs. This lone pair is involved in coordinate bonding with this iodine. Dative bond like this will write. Then this dative bond will write it as a normal covalent bond. Normal covalent bond. This iodine is having 3 lone pairs. This iodine is having 3 lone pairs. This iodine is having 3 lone pairs. Now this dative bond we have written as normal covalent bond. This is acceptor. Acceptor means -1. For acceptor we have to give -1, we have to give. It is donor. Donor we have to give formal charge +1. Already -1 is there, therefore becomes 0. Okay, sir. Now what is the hybridization of this I3 minus? This is called I3 minus. This I3 minus shape is what means linear shape. Okay. This I3 minus, this I3 minus we have taken. This I3 minus hybridization we have to see. For that you take central atom. This central atom is having 2 sigma bonds. 2 sigma bonds are there and 3 lone pairs are there. 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs. Therefore 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs in the sense this central atom iodine is having 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs. Okay, so now central atom iodine we are taking. It is having negative charge. It is having 3 lone pairs. So the central atom iodine is having 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs. Therefore, totally 5. So how to give hybridization? SPD, you write it. Then first in this 5, first you go to S. S orbital is only 1, so give 1. P orbital is 3, therefore give 3. Out of 5, still how much is remaining? Still 1 is remaining, that you give to D. Therefore, what is the hybridization of this I in the sense? sp3d hybridization. sp3d hybridization. Therefore, this iodine has to provide how many hybrid orbitals? Means 2 hybrid orbitals for 2 sigma bonds and 3 hybrid orbitals for 3 lone pairs. So this iodine, this central atom iodine has to provide 5 hybrid orbitals. 5 hybrid orbitals means from this iodine 5 orbitals should go for intermixing. 5 orbitals should go for intermixing. Which orbitals in the sense? One is 5s, 3 from 5p, 1 from 5d. So 1 5s orbital, 1 5s orbital, 3 5p orbitals, 3 5p orbitals, 1 5d orbital. 1 5d orbital go for intermixing. So how many orbitals intermixing in the sense? 5. Therefore we will get 5 hybrid orbitals. 5 hybrid orbitals we are getting. Hybrid orbitals name is what in the sense? sp3d. Okay, so 5 orbitals we got. 5 hybrid orbitals we are getting. Sorry. Now valence shell is having how many electrons? We will see. Valence shell is having 7 electrons. Okay, valence shell is having how many electrons? Means 7 electrons. Okay, that 7 electrons will take. So 2, 4, 6 and 7. Okay, we have violated Hund's rule here. Okay, 7 electrons here written. This iodine is iodine. This iodine atom is in iodine molecule. This iodine atom has contributed 1 electron for bonding. This bond contains 2 electrons. These 2 electrons shared by both. Therefore, the 2 electrons will write here. So this unpaired electron has gone for bonding. Therefore, it becomes what means covalent bond. Covalent bond means sharing of electrons. How many means 2? Therefore, 2 we have given. This is vacant orbital. It is this vacant orbital name is what means sp3d orbital. This vacant sp3d orbital, this iodine gives for dative bonding. Therefore, in this dative bond, for the formation of this dative bond, this iodine provides vacant orbital. What is the name of vacant orbital? Means sp3d vacant orbital. Okay, therefore iodine atom in iodine molecule is contributing sp3d vacant orbital while I minus contribute lone pair. Okay, therefore what is the hybridization of iodine at central atom iodine? This is I3 minus. This I3 minus in this central atom iodine hybridization is what means sp3d hybridization. It is having 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs. 2 sigma bonds and 3 lone pairs means shape is linear, bond angle is 180°. Now these 3 lone pairs, if you join, you will get triangular planar. You will get these 3 lone pairs. If you join, you will get a triangular planar. Okay. Now these 2 iodine atoms, these 2 sigma bonds, how it will be there? Means 180° to each other. These 2 sigma bonds are 180° to each other. Okay, this is about I3 minus. In I3 minus, dative bond is present. Dative bond is present here. That is coordinate covalent bond is present. Sir, This about I3 minus we can say. Okay. Next we will see about what in the sense SiF6 2 minus. We are going for a SiF6 2 minus. Okay. How to get SiF6 2 minus in the sense SiF4 plus 2 times F minus gives SiF6 2 minus. SiF6 2 minus. Okay. This silicon we will take. Okay. Silicon we have taken. Silicon comes under group number 4A. Silicon comes under group number 4A. It is a p block element 4A. So this valency shell is having 4 electrons. This valency shell is having 4 electrons. Okay. So silicon electronic configuration, if you see what is the electronic configuration, means neon 3s2, 3p2, 3d is 0. Okay. 3d is 0. So silicon is having a 4 electrons in its valency shell. 4 electrons in its valence shell. These electrons are going bonding with fluorine. So these electrons are bonding with what in the sense of fluorine we can say. Then F minus we will take F minus. This F minus in the sense this is coming under 7th A group. Therefore, its valency shell is having 7 electrons. Because of minus, one additional electron we have to give. Therefore, totally how many electrons in the sense 8 electrons. F minus is having 8 electrons. This side also F minus is having 8 electrons we can say. This side also F minus is having 8 electrons we have written. Okay. Then what is happening means this silicon is providing vacant orbital. This silicon is providing vacant orbital. Okay. This silicon is providing vacant orbital now. Silicon is providing vacant orbital. This F minus is contributing this lone pair. F minus is contributing lone pair. Here also F minus is contributing lone pair. Okay. This F minus is contributing lone pair. This side also F minus is contributing lone pair. Silicon is contributing vacant orbital, one this side, one this side. So silicon is contributing vacant orbital, one on right side, one on left side. Okay, like this contributing. Therefore, what is happening means this F minus is making dative bond with this silicon. This F minus also making dative bond with this silicon. Therefore, what is produced that we will see in Si. Already 4 fluorine atoms are there. Those 4 fluorine atoms we will write. Now, additionally, what comes in the sense 2 F minus comes. So, one F minus is making dative bond, another F minus is making dative bond here. Okay. So, 2 F minus we are written. So, one F minus has made dative bond, another F minus has made dative bond. Okay. Now, we will write a dative bond as normal covalent bond. Okay. Now, we are writing dative bond as normal covalent bond. So all the 6 fluorine atoms we will write. Okay. Now this silicon is the acceptor here. It is a acceptor. Due to this dative bond, it will get -1 because gain. Due to this dative bond, it will get -1. Therefore, totally how much in the sense 2 minus we can say. Totally 2 minus. Then for this F minus loss, therefore it will get formal charge +1. Already -1 is there. Therefore, net charge becomes 0. So we need not write any charge on fluorine. For the year also same. Okay, sir. Now, what is the hybridization? What is the hybridization of silicon in SiF6 2 minus that we have to see? Hybridization we have to see. See, hybridization of silicon in SiF6 2 minus means you have to see this molecule. We have to write the structure and then only you have to come for a hybridization. Okay. So now this silicon is having 6 sigma bonds. 6 sigma bonds present. Okay. No pi bonds, no lone pairs. No lone pairs. This silicon is not having any lone pair. Silicon is not having pi bond. Silicon is having 6 sigma bonds. So how to say hybridization? Hybridization in the sense, write SPD. Now 6, take 6 and go to S. And for S you give 1. For P you give 3. Remaining is how much you see? That you give to D. Therefore, what is the hybridization of silicon? sp3d2. Sir, that means this silicon is providing what hybrid orbital for dative bonding means sp3d2. Okay, therefore silicon has provided here what is the vacant orbital means sp3d2 vacant orbital it has provided for dative bonding. Similarly, this side one sp3d2 vacant orbital it has provided for dative bonding side. So like this we said. So hybridization of silicon in SiF6 2 minus is sp3d2 hybridization. Now this here only 6 sigma bonds are there. No lone pairs, no pi bonds. If lone pair is there, bond shape will have any distortion, we can say. Distortion in the sense irregularity. No lone pairs, therefore no distortion. Pi bonds also not there. Only 6 sigma bonds. Only 6 sigma bonds means perfect octahedron. Perfect octahedron, we can say. Perfect octahedron. Therefore, it is octahedral molecule. This SiF6 2 minus, we can say octahedral molecule. This is about dative bonding or coordinate covalent bonding, we can say. Next, we will go for which rule, in the sense Poisson's rule we will take. Now we are going for Poisson's rule. Okay. What is the use of Poisson's rule? Why we have to go for Poisson's rule? That we will say. Okay. Next, we are going for Poisson's rule. What is the use of this Poisson's rule? Why we have to go for a Poisson's rule? That we have to see. Sir, now we will take a ionic compound. We will take. We are taking ionic compound. This ionic compound is having how much ionic nature? Means 100% ionic nature. This ionic compound is having how much ionic nature? Means 100% ionic nature. Okay, like that we will consider. Now we are considering ionic compound that is having how much ionic nature, in the sense 100% ionic nature. That is what, in the sense assumption. That is assumption. So as per assumption, ionic compound is having how much ionic nature, in the sense 100% ionic nature is there. That is the assumption. Okay. So as per this assumption, we will proceed. Then we will see what is the actual fact. What is the fact that we will see. Otherwise, what is the experimental result that we will see. Okay. First, we will proceed as per assumption. Okay. Now I am taking sodium. Sodium electronic configuration, you know that is neon 3s1. Then I will take chlorine. That chlorine electronic configuration is a neon 3s2 3p5. 3s2 3p5. Okay. You know that sodium, if sodium donates one electron, its configuration becomes neon and then stable. If chlorine is accepting one electron, then it becomes a stable configuration. Therefore, one electron is transferring from sodium to chlorine. Okay. Therefore, what happens means sodium is getting loss of one electron. Therefore, here +1. Now the configuration is neon. Chlorine is getting one electron. Therefore, it is gaining one electron. Therefore, -1. Now this configuration is argon. So Cl minus. Chlorine atom gains one electron. Therefore, it becomes Cl minus. Its configuration is what? Means argon. Sodium is donating one electron. Therefore, it becomes Na+1. This configuration is what? Means neon. So Na+1 configuration is neon. Cl-1 configuration is argon. Okay. If the configuration of Na plus is exactly neon configuration, then only it will have +1 charge exactly. Similarly, if Cl is having exactly argon configuration, then only it will have exactly -1. If sodium is having perfectly +1 and Cl is having perfectly -1, then attraction between these two gives 100% ionic nature. Then it is called a ionic compound. This we explained as per assumption set. So as per assumption we said. Okay. Here, electron is transferring from sodium to chlorine. In what way? Means a complete transfer of electron from sodium to chlorine. Okay, from sodium, one electron is transferring completely to chlorine. Then only like this. Okay. Next, we will take a what is the actual fact? What is the actual fact? That we will see. Now, actual fact says that no ionic compounds have 100% ionic nature. That means none of the ionic compounds have 100% ionic nature. That means percentage of ionic nature of ionic compounds is how much, in the sense less than 100%. This is the fact. This is the practical. So yeah, whatever the ionic compounds you take, in that what is the percentage of ionic nature? Means less than 100%. That means remaining percentage is what? What is the remaining percentage? Remaining percentage is belonging to which nature? That we have to see. Okay. So what is the remaining percentage? So remaining percentage. Remaining percentage nature is what? What is the nature of a remaining percentage? That we have to see. What is the nature of remaining percentage? That we have to see. Sir, okay. This is regarding this ionic compound. Sir, we are having a question mark. What is the percentage of remaining? That is a question mark. Sir, next we will take now covalent compound. We will take. Now we are taking a 100% covalent compound. 100% covalent compound we are taking. We are taking what in the sense 100% covalent compound we are taking. Sir, for this we will take an example. We will take hydrogen atom. Its configuration is 1s1. Okay, so we have taken hydrogen atom. What is the configuration? Means its configuration is 100%. We can say. Sir, now the ones we will see this regarding this Poisson's rule here. In the Poisson's rule, ionic compound 100% ionic nature we said. Next we have to go for what in the sense covalent compound 100% covalent nature. Okay, like this we have taken. Before this what we have discussed in the sense regarding this dative bond we have discussed. This is what in the sense a dative bond. Okay, sir, now in the Poisson's rule continuation 100% covalent compound we have considered. So we have taken one hydrogen atom, its configuration is 1s1. Another hydrogen atom will take, its configuration is 1s1. Okay, now both hydrogen atoms are in need of 1 electron each. Therefore, both hydrogen atoms will contribute 1 electron each. Therefore, we will get a sharing of electron cloud and bonding. Sharing of electron cloud. Okay. Here, what happens means sharing of 2 electrons. Sharing of 2 electrons. Each hydrogen atom has contributed 1 electron. 1 electron. Each hydrogen atom has contributed 1 electron. Therefore, 2 electrons are shared. Now this covalent bond is called what means this bond is called covalent bond. Okay. Now we will see. Now each hydrogen atom has contributed. Each hydrogen atom has contributed exactly 1 electron. Okay, then bond is formed. Bond contains 2 electrons. Bonding 2 electrons are exactly shared by both hydrogen atoms. Okay, if these 2 hydrogen atoms sharing this bonding electrons equally and exactly, then this bond is having 100% covalent nature. This bond is having 100% covalent nature. This is as per assumption. We are assuming like this. Okay, we are assuming. Okay, as per assumption, what we have to do? As per assumption, what is assumption means 100% covalent nature. So as per that assumption, each hydrogen atom is contributing 1 electron exactly. So bond contains 2 electrons. The bonding electrons are exactly shared by both hydrogen atoms. That is therefore here this bond is having 100% covalent nature. We can say this is assumption. What is experimental fact? That we will see. So experimental fact, what is the experimental fact means no covalent compounds have 100% covalent nature. 100% covalent nature. That means none of the covalent compounds have 100% covalent nature. We cannot say example for a 100% covalent nature. Whatever the covalent compound you take, that is not having a 100% covalent nature. Any compound you take, that is not having 100% covalent nature. Okay, therefore we can say percentage of covalent nature, of any covalent compound, if you see, that is less than 100%. Yeah, whatever the covalent compound you take hydrogen molecule or HF molecule or whatever the methane molecule, whatever the covalent compound you take, there what is the percentage of covalent nature means less than 100%. It is the experimental fact. Therefore, what is the remaining percentage? What is the remaining percentage? What is the nature of remaining percentage in covalent compounds? This is the question. So in covalent compounds, no doubt covalent nature is there. But that covalent nature is less than 100% means remaining nature, that means some other nature also there. That is the meaning, no? Sir. Now we will see ionic compounds. In the ionic compounds, percentage of ionic nature, if you see less than 100%, that means in ionic compounds, no doubt ionic nature is there, and also some other nature also there. Some other nature also there. What is that nature? So in the ionic compounds, some other nature also there. No, what is that nature? In covalent compounds, covalent nature is there, and also some other nature is there. No, what is that nature? That we want to know it. Sir, what is that nature that we want to know it? For that, we will take this ionic compound sodium chloride. We will take now from sodium atom, one electron is transferring to chlorine atom. Therefore, we are getting Na plus and Cl minus. So we got ionic compound. Sir, in the ionic compound, this sodium chloride is ionic compound. In this ionic compound exists as crystals, exist as solid crystals. Solid in the sense ions will be packed closely. Ions will be packed closely, isn't it? Sir, now we will take sodium ion. How the sodium ion will be there? That structure we will see. Sodium ion contains a nucleus. Sodium ion contains nucleus. Electronic configuration, if you see, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. It is the electronic configuration of sodium ion. It is the size of sodium ion. Sir, okay. Now, this configuration is what means 1s2. This is what means 2s2, 2p6. 1s in the sense spherically symmetric. 2s also spherically symmetric. 2p is not spherically symmetric. It is a dumbbell. Sir. Now, 1s electron cloud, if we take, how that 1s electron cloud will be there? It is around the nucleus. Sir. Around the nucleus means why to give this oneness is called spherically symmetrical. Why to say spherically symmetrical? That we will see. Now, oneness is called spherically symmetrical. Why do we say spherical and symmetric? Spherical and symmetric, why do we say? Now, we will take nucleus. It is a oneness orbital. It is oneness orbital. Now, it is why it is a sphere in the sense shape is sphere. Why to say symmetric? That means now we will take at this point we will take. Now from the nucleus to this point, radial distance we will see. From the nucleus to this point, radial distance we will see. These two will be equal, and they will be in same direction. That means theta and phi will be same for both. Theta value for both points same. Phi value is same for both points. Okay. For this point chi square, for this point chi square, how it will be there means same. Therefore, only we are saying symmetric. Okay. Chi square remains same at same radial distance in whatever the direction. Therefore, only we can call this as a symmetric. We can say. Sir. Therefore, oneness orbital is spherical and symmetric. How this oneness electron cloud will be there in the sense it is just like a cloud form. It will be there. Sir. Now it is just like a cloud. So it is oneness electron cloud. This electron cloud in the sense you imagine it cloud. Is it having constant shape? No. Naturally, we can say cloud is not having constant shape. That's why it is here name is given cloud. It is not having constant shape in the sense in the shape distortion takes place. Distortion takes place means at any instant this side electron cloud density, may become little high, and this side electron cloud density may become little low. Okay, so electron cloud density is not remaining constant in both sides. One side becoming high, one side becoming low. This side becoming low in the sense this nucleus will try to attract some other electron cloud because electron cloud density becomes low. In the nucleus, this side part will attract some other electron cloud from here. What will happen here? Here electron cloud density becomes high. Therefore, this electron cloud density will repel this side electron cloud. Therefore, attraction, repulsion, these are taking place. Nothing is symmetric here. Perfect symmetry is not possible. Sir. Now we'll take this sodium ion. In sodium ion, though it is we are writing neon configuration, it is distortion is there. Here what is there means a distortion is there. Because of distortion, this nucleus, this nucleus, this nucleus, that means it is sodium ion nucleus. Sodium ion in the sense cation. This sodium ion nucleus has a tendency to pull anion electron cloud towards itself. Okay, this sodium ion is the cation. This is trying to pull anion electron cloud towards itself. Okay, so now we can say Na plus is the cation. Na plus is the cation. So cation nucleus has a tendency to pull anion electron cloud. So cation nucleus is trying to pull anion electron cloud. This tendency is called what in the sense polarizability. This is called polarizing power. So cation nucleus is having what tendency to pull anion electron cloud, that is called polarizing power. This polarizing power will be there for all the cations, but the magnitude vary from one cation to another cation. So now due to cationic pull, anion electron cloud distort towards cation, distorts towards cation. Okay, so cation is pulling anion electron cloud, therefore anion electron cloud is distorting towards cation. This tendency, this distortion tendency is nothing but polarizability. It is called what means polarizability, we can say. This is called polarizability, we can say. Okay, so because of this cation, anion electron cloud is distorting towards cation. This distortion tendency is called what means polarizability. This process is called what means this phenomenon is called what means polarization. This phenomenon is called polarization. So polarization in the sense polarizing power of cation and polarizability of anion. What is polarizing power? Just cation nucleus is pulling anion electron cloud. That power is called polarizing power. That's all. What is polarizability? Anion electron cloud distorting towards cation. That distortion tendency is called polarizability. This phenomenon is called polarization. That's all. So polarizability is there for which anion electron cloud means for all the anion electron clouds polarizability compulsory there. But the magnitude varies from one anion to another anion. So now how the polarizing power will be there for different cations, that we'll see. What is a tendency of polarizing power for different cations, that point we'll see. Now we'll take Li plus. Li plus means that nucleus and the electronic configuration is what means 1s2. Then we will take Na plus this nucleus and this electronic configuration is what means 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, now we will take its periodic property. Periodic property says that for Li plus size is less, for Na plus size is high. Na plus size is high. So size is low in the sense distance between anion electron cloud and this nucleus. Okay, now this nucleus will take here at this surface. What will be there means anion electron cloud will be there. Okay. Now distance between this nucleus and anion electron cloud, that we will see. So now we are seeing distance between this nucleus, center of nucleus and anion electron cloud. Okay, that distance is this much. For sodium, the distance is how much means this much. At surface anion will be there. Okay. Now that distance is this much. So distance between nucleus and anion electron cloud is less for Li plus and high for Na plus. Therefore, lithium nucleus is having higher tendency to pull anion electron cloud than that of Na plus. Therefore, we are expecting polarizing power of Li plus is high and polarizing power of Na plus is less. This is expectation. So polarizing power is high and polarizing power is less. So this Li plus is having higher tendency to pull the anion electron cloud. Because of Li plus, anion is distorting towards this cation to more extent. Okay, anion is distorting towards that cation more extent. Therefore, anion electron cloud is distorted to more extent towards lithium, towards Li plus. Okay. Now anion electron cloud distorts to less extent towards Na plus. So more anion electron cloud is distorting towards Li plus, but less anion electron cloud is distorting towards Na plus because of polarizing power. Therefore, now we can say Li plus gets higher share from anion, whereas Na plus gets lower share from anion. Because of anionic electron cloud, this Li plus gets what nature in the sense? Covalent nature. It gets covalent nature. Because of anion electron cloud, since Na plus is sharing some anion electron cloud, it gets some covalent nature. Now Li plus gets higher share from anion, therefore covalent nature is high. Na plus gets lesser share from anion, therefore covalent nature is low. Okay. Now Li plus size, we said that size of Li plus cation is less. We said size of Na plus cation we said more. Okay. So our expectation is what means, if size of cation is less, then covalent nature will be more. If size of cation is high, covalent nature will be low. Why? Because polarizing power is high for less size, polarizing power is small for higher size. It is our expectation. So what experimental result says, that we'll see. From the experimental analysis, Fazans introduced a rule. What is that rule? This rule says that when size of cation decreases, covalent nature increases. This is what means Fazans rule. When size of cation increases, covalent nature decreases. This is about Fazans rule. Okay, so that covalent nature decreases means indirectly it says that ionic nature increases. Therefore, Li plus and Na plus, if you see, which is having higher covalent nature means Li plus is having higher covalent nature. That means which is having higher ionic nature, Na plus. Now we will take first group. We will take in the first group alkali metals. We will take alkali metals means lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Now down the group, if you see size of cation, what happens means increases. Therefore polarizing power, what happens means decreases.